Ready.
Today we will discuss on hospital formulary system. Formulary, the definition is, it is a continuously revised compilation of medicinal agents and ancillary informations that reflects the current clinical judgment of the medical staff. That means if we'll roughly calculate the types of drugs available, the types of disorders prevailing in our society, and the manufacturer who are manufacturing different products, if we accumulate all these, the total number of products available will be in thousands. So it is not possible for the part of any pharmacy or any hospital pharmacy to keep all those medication, all the drugs, all the products in different strengths. For that reason, the PTC or the Pharmacy and Therapeutic Committee prepares a list of drugs or formulations and other information about the hospital and prepare a booklet type material known as hospital formulary. And this formulary, if you think about the definition, it has two parts. It is a continuously revised compilation of medicinal agents and ancillary information. And the second part is that reflects the current clinical judgment of the medical staff. So first is, it is a list which is continuously revised time to time as per need, and from this list we can know what are the current clinical judgment of the medical staff of that hospital. The basic objective of creating a formulary is to provide best treatment to the patient in less cost. The formulary provides information on the name and other details about the drugs approved by the hospital. Second, hospital policies and procedures on use of drugs and other general information. Advantages of hospital formulary system. It promotes rational and cost-effective prescribing. It's a good means for providing relatively unbiased information on medicines for prescriber in a user-friendly form. It gives guidance on selection of medicine and provide price comparison. It allows the pharmacist to buy in bulk those drugs which are commonly used. It encourages generic prescribing by reducing and in such way reduces the treatment cost. It improves relationship between physician and pharmacist. The disadvantages: it can be a time-consuming process to develop a formulary because we have to find out all the information, relevant information about the drugs. We have to formulate different policies and procedures and put it in writing. Second is, if they are too restrictive in number of drugs in them, then there may be problem in its use, as the prescriber may be reluctant to accept the existence of the formulary. It requires regular updates. Constant reminders may be required to maintain prescribing within the recommendation of prescribing policies. So, when the hospital accepts that they will initiate preparation of a formulary, before that they have to decide whether they will put the names of the drug as per generic name or brand name. If they will put as per generic name, then the prescriber will prescribe as per the generic name of the drug, and it is the prerogative of the pharmacist which brand he will keep in the pharmacy for those generic brands. After which they will prepare the list and prepare the formulary. So next point of discussion is contents of formulary. The content section of formulary is arranged in 3 sections. The section 1 contains introduction and general information like policies and procedures of the hospital, and the section 2 of the formulary contains the details of drug formulations to be mentioned, and the third section is additional information, or it is also known as miscellaneous section. So let us discuss one by one. The section 1 is general information or on the policies and procedures of the hospital, like the working timing of the hospital in winter, in summer, what are the timings in which the hospital opens, and what are the working time of the pharmacy, that will be mentioned. Even there will be brief discussion on PTC members and their responsibilities along with their details. It also provides information on hospital regulations like prescribing, dispensing, administration of drug, generic names, drug orders, emergency drug products, etc. It also provide information on procedure for inclusion of new drug and in what conditions old drugs are being deleted from the formulary. Then let's come to section 2. It's the list of drugs or information on drug products. Under this section, it is again divided into 2 subsections. First one is entries in formulary and second one is indexes to the formulary. In the entries in the formulary, the contents are first generic name or brand name of the drugs, then common brand names if only generic names are included, then dosage form, strength and packaging of that product, then indication and contraindications of the drug, then formulation, in which formulation these are available, then whether it is meant for adult or pediatric dose or use, and what is the route of administration of that product, and finally what is the cost of the drug. And the section B of this subsection B of this drug product listing is indexes to the formulary. In every book we will find indexes at the end of the book. Likewise in formulary also we have indexes to the formulary, and the indexes are normally given alphabetically. So there are 3 types of indexes which are given in the formulary. First is generic name index, second one is brand name index, and the third one is therapeutic or pharmacological index. Then let's move to section 3 of the formulary, that is known as special information section or miscellaneous section. The contents of this section varies from hospital to hospital. So I am giving you example of some common points which are mentioned in this section. First is nutritional product list, then equivalent dosage of similar drugs, then guidelines for calculating pediatric dose by using different formulas, how it will be calculated. So those formulas will be mentioned over there. Then list of sugar-free drug products, then number of items available in emergency boxes, and also along with number of items available, they will mention in which locations those emergency drug boxes are kept. Then list of approved abbreviation to be used in that hospital. Then metric conversions and tables are also given. Then the tables for drug interaction of commonly used drug will be provided for ready references. Then poison control information will be given, and by putting all those, a book or booklet will be prepared. And after preparation of the formulary, it will be distributed to all the concerned persons of the hospital, like all the physicians, to the pharmacy, to the nursing personnel, and to the office and to the administrator. It's because we know that it should be revised time to time. If after 1 year or so they feel that 1 or 2 items will be deleted, need to be deleted from the formulary, then and 1 or 2 items to be added to the formulary, then there will not be any need for preparing a new formulary. One leaflet can be prepared in which we can mention that these drugs in page number this and this are removed from the formulary with effect from this date, and this drug with details of that drug and where it should be included, in which pages, that should be mentioned, and it should be supplied to all those persons whom the earlier formularies have been distributed. In case after a couple of years we will think that we have to revise the formulary as the members of PTC have changed and the policies and procedures of the hospital have been changed and many drugs have already been deleted.